Are you still relying on promos@dj.com or demos@recordlabel.com when sending and submitting demos to record labels? You're not able to connect to the right record labels or get demos listened to by record labels. And you're fed up of not being able to see if a record label has listened to your demo. Frustrating, right? For the longest time ever, sending demos to record labels has been a bit chaotic. Do you need to send an email? Do you need to send a DM? Do you need to contact a certain person at a record label and find out who that is? It's very time consuming. On top of everything else you've got to do. And as artists, you don't get the feedback you deserve for your music. Today, we're going to look at Trackstack and speak to Trackstack about their system and how it helps artists. This conversation comes from my Blueprint Breakfast, which is part of Brighton Music Conference. And this year's Blueprint Breakfast was my biggest one ever. And it was really great to meet loads of DJs and producers. But also, I chatted to George from Trackstack, who sponsored the event for us. And it was a great conversation. I'm looking forward to you watching this. So let's dive in and watch the conversation.
Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us for breakfast. The plan is basically, this is George from Trackstack. We're going to chat about demos and use the Trackstack platform for a minute. Welcome. Thanks for doing this, mate.
You're more than welcome.
I thought we'd just kind of chat Trackstack.
Sure.
And I thought the first question is, how's the best way to describe your system and how it can help producers and DJs?
Thank you very much. Well, firstly, thank you very much for having us here. It's been a pleasure to partner with you. So I don't know how many of you actually know Trackstack. Has anyone heard of it? Hey, a few people, that's good. So we are a demo submission platform. We started this as like an inbox for DJs and labels used to actually receive their music, basically replacing email, because obviously, as you know, anyone who does receive a good amount of demos, promos via email, it's not the best system, and especially when you're trying to get back to people. From an artist's perspective, it's not the easiest thing to do, and a lot of people get very disenfranchised by sending music to their favourite labels and different DJs because they never get a response. So we tried to solve the problem of that, and it's been going pretty well. We work with a number of sort of top DJs and labels around the world, specifically Jamie Jones, who's a founder of the company as well. So a lot of the process that we've built into the technology has been focused around his process. And obviously someone like him, if it works for him, then it works for a lot of other people. So it has been helping a lot of different artists get their music in front of the DJs that want to, especially the guys that maybe aren't focused in a lot of the big population areas of the world where they have access to these guys, but they can send their music without too much of a barrier to entry, essentially. So reducing that's been the main goal for us.
Perfect. How do they choose the label they want to send it to? Do they need to know the label of Trackstack, or can they find it within the system?
Yeah, so we have two sides. Obviously, sending tracks should always be free. It's something that at the moment you can get your tracks across on DMs, on email to labels and DJs for free, and that's something we kind of hold we try to stay true to. But if you are also signed up for a Trackstack subscription, you can actually go and see a list of all the labels and DJs and search for them. Just because it's a better experience, and especially a lot of the guys that are sending bigger promo campaigns, it does make sense for them to be able to do that. But for a lot of artists and a lot of people who want to use the free experience, it's very much based around being able to find and discover free links and being able to have, in the same way you would a demo at or a promo at email address, it's the same sort of thing. So we try to get it so that people are sharing it now, making themselves available, and actually the system itself means that people can be a bit more open to tracks instead of being guarded and maybe not being as sort of open.
And then how many labels can you send them to? Have you got a limit? And also from a label side, do they then get a notification so they've got to be tracking? How's that process work?
Yeah, so there's no limit. You can send as many as you want. We recommend not doing that because you should always have a bit of a strategy, and usually if you're focusing on a couple of labels or a lot of people you want to get supported by, that's the best strategy. But there's no limit. You can kind of just, you can, like with an email address, you can send as many as you want. But labels always get a notification. They also have the access to do it via an app, via desktop. So usually, most people, as you probably know yourself, Graham, like you have your demo sessions and you go through at certain times of the week before your sets and stuff. So most people who are really engaged stay on top of it. But it's our biggest challenge. Trying to get people to listen to demos is always difficult because it is sometimes not the easiest thing to do when you've got 500 demos in your inbox. And for us, that's been the sort of the main challenge. So.
And I know from an artist point of view, there's a setting that tells you how quickly the labels are responding. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's a bit of accountability, really, because if you are looking at a label who's got maybe a 6-week listening time, that's okay. But if someone's got like a 12-week or a bit longer, then it puts that image out that maybe they're not as engaged. And we're trying to make people engaged because artists spend a huge amount of time in putting into their work, and we feel like there should be this level of respect and accountability. And so anything we can do to kind of promote that I think is really important. And yeah, it's our job to make it easier for both sides. And part of that is saying, like, having some transparency and knowing there's an expectation of when you send a demo, like, how long are we going to actually wait to get this before someone listens to it? And so showing that, I think, is really important.
Just have a quick poll. Is there any label owners in here?
I have been a label owner.
There you go.
My label
You as well? Okay, so we're talking about from an artist point of view. Let's talk about from a label point of view. Data transmission is now 4 labels. So how does it work for me? Can I see all my labels in one place? How does that work?
That's a good question. And yes, essentially. But as you know, like, every person is different, both from an artist perspective, but also a label. Loads of people have multiple labels. Loads of people have different setups. They have different A&R teams that fit across the board. So we've tried to make it as custom as possible. You can have multiple links for all your labels. For example, you might have, obviously you have 4 labels, you have a different link that you can share on your different socials in different places, but also we work with people like Graham Farmer, who he likes to receive all his demos in one link to one place, and then he distributes them throughout his labels. So we've kind of tried to build around that, which is it's easier for us to work with the right people instead of being able to say, like, no, you have to use this system, because, as you know, like, people have built their own systems over time, and we don't want to come in and say, like, no, this is the new way, here's just how we can support you with your existing system.
That's cool. And then I guess as someone's got 4 labels, I can have a different team member associated to different labels. So that, say, Shelley's that's running the D&B side, she can see her D&B label, and I can see the other stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. You can have as many team members as you want, Greg. But no, that's completely right. I think having that flexibility from, because a lot of the people we work with are what we call a busy DJ who runs a label. So sometimes they have an A&R manager if they're lucky, and they've built a good enough team. So I think it is important to be able to give as much access and control as possible as well.
And then, so right, the record label, they like the track, they're into it. Can we then check out the rest of what that artist is about? Because obviously it's not just about the music, it's, you know, what do they look like online, what do they look like socials, how much are their monthly listeners? Can you see all that from the system? Does the system help you do that?
Yes, so there's a couple of ways we've thought about this. Firstly, it's about you, the label, and what you actually want. So some people really don't care. They will just say, it's all about the music. I don't care if they've got 700 followers on Instagram and post pictures of goats. Like, some people just care about the music. But then on the other side, labels do also care about what artists they're supporting, who they're putting out, and the image they put. And so we say, like, you as the label get to control what information you collect. Most artists are pretty good. They like to put as much information as possible. They like to share their previous work, share their SoundCloud links, share their other links around their profiles on the internet, and so you always have the option to add more. And it's the same with the stuff like Beatport. Like, although we kind of sit in a different space to people like Beatport, we also want to show as much as possible, as much transparency as possible. As if you want to share it, then you can.
I was talking about demos, but you can actually use the system for promos as well, and collect some promos as DJs. How does that work? And because I'm guessing lots of your DJs, how does that work for DJs?
So yeah, it's interesting, and it was a natural next step for us, to be honest, because a lot of people obviously receiving demos, and like I said, we focus on the DJ run labels, and they said, well, we like receiving promos too. And I don't want to sort of besmirch anyone here, but maybe the existing promo landscape is not the best at the moment. But at the moment, people spend a lot of money on it, and like I said, email's not the best system. And so a lot of DJs naturally ask for promos as well, and so being able to set up instead of just a label inbox, a DJ inbox as well. So having that separation, so they're a different frame of mind, as you probably know. When you're looking for music for sets, you're not always thinking about whether you're going to sign it. Some people do like to do that. They like to have, like, they want to test their demos out in their sets before actually going to sign it. But then a lot of people are just looking for tracks to play out, and so it was a natural next step for us. So we do kind of support both sides of it, and a lot of people just use it for promos as well if they don't have any label interest.
And the big one, I want to ask you, your 3 biggest tips are sending demos to record labels.
Number 1, I think it's consistency. The biggest, we always use this use case around a DJ, James Paul. He's a guy based in Leeds. It's not very big, many people wouldn't have heard of him, but he was just dedicated on getting tracks to Jamie and getting signed on Hot Creations. That was his whole thing. And so he focused a lot of his music sending around that and using the feedback he got through the platform to improve his music around that sound. And since then, he's obviously reached his goal of got signed by Hot Tracks first and then Hot Creation. But then has since then been able to develop what's the road next. So instead of just saying like, I'm going to send all my tracks to everyone and not having a real strategy around it, like picking a few sounds or a few labels you really like and focusing on building a good relationship with them I think is the most important thing, because as you start to send someone music that they want to hear, they'll start to look forward to receiving it. I'm sure all of you have received music from producers that when they send you a track, you're like, oh yes, I got another track from this person, because they can make good music and it really aligns with me as a DJ or me as a label owner. And that's the sort of things, like if you can create that relationship with the people you're sending music to, like that for me is like the number one thing. From there, I think, it's just being as selective as possible as well. Like you're always going to do better if you've got, it kind of brings to the first point, but like it's always going to be better if you're selective. It's always better not to send it to someone if you're not sure, rather than actually just sending it and kind of seeing what happens. Obviously, there's a lot of that where you kind of don't know where a tune sits, especially if it's a little bit different to what you've made, then kind of, feel free to send it out to anyone. But I think it's better being as selective as possible, doing your research and really understanding who's going to be listening to it, what frame of mind they're in, and how they kind of evaluate tracks. And finally, I think is also trying to build a relationship away from stuff like Trackstack, because although we solve a problem for labels and it's a really good mechanism of getting tracks to labels and DJs, there's also something to say about a personal relationship. Like you should be trying to speak to these people, going to meet them and actually building some sort of personal relationship. So when you do send them a track, they know who you are, you've spoken to them and you have that rapport with them. So it doesn't just feel like this transactional relationship, because at the end of the day, it is all about people and relationships, this business, and it shouldn't just be about you being able to send your track as easy as possible to whoever you want to. It's actually being able to have a better relationship with label owners, DJs, and actually build your career that way, because at the end of the day, that's ultimately what's going to get you picked up for whatever your goal is, whether it's to be a world touring DJ or whether it's actually to build your own career in electronic music. Like the relationships are the most important thing.
My final one. What's the blueprint I need to know to get the most out of your system?
That's a good question. I think to get the most out of the system, I think it's people who sit in the middle. So people who are receiving and people who are sending. One of the biggest things we've noticed is that if you're open to receiving tracks, you start building up, obviously, like I mentioned, better relationships with the artists. And if you respect that process of actually listening to someone's track and giving it a basic yes, no, you build that relationship, they send you more music. That becomes someone that later down the line, whether you're doing stuff like Graham, producing great content for educational purposes, whether you're creating sample packs, whether you're doing mentoring, mastering, whatever it is you might be selling that's potentially like aiding your career, because I think it's really important to state, like, not everyone gets to tour around the world and make tons of money from playing shows. Like, we all have to build an actual career in this industry, and a lot of that is helping artists make their music, the educational side of it. And if you start being open to tracks, then you have the opportunity to have this new audience that you can begin building a community around. And I think that is where people get the most out of it. When they understand that and they have all these people that they're respecting and respecting their music, then all of a sudden you become, people interact with you in another way and potentially start spending money with you, which is really important when you're trying to be a professional musician, even if it's just not making music, but actually helping people with their music.
Nice. Thank you, mate. That's great to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Well,
Thank you. You're a fun, man. Good.
Have you grabbed my free guide to sending demos to record labels? If you haven't, you can still grab it in the description. Go and click on that now and grab that free guide. It's going to help you sending demos where you can't use Trackstack and you can't use their system. It's going to help you understand how to send a demo to record labels. Is one of the record labels you're trying to get signed to Defected Records, the big house one? Then you should definitely watch this video next, because I go in depth on how to get signed to Defected Records. Before you jump over here, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you thought about this video in the comments, if you're going to use Trackstack or not. I've been Graham Farmer. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.